Hey everyone, this is Brooke White, and I love watching the music scene.
Welcome to the music scene. My name is Darren Fromel, and I'm sitting here at Barnes & Noble with the lovely and talented Brooke White, American Idol finalist and singer-songwriter. Brooke just released her latest album called High Hopes and Heartbreak, which People magazine gave 3 stars and the Boston Herald called a throwback to the 70s singer-songwriters. Hello, Brooke, and welcome to the music scene.
Thank you so much. This is the music scene.
Exactly.
Peter Rabbit.
I love it. So Brooke, what do you think about that review from the Boston Herald that said your album is like a throwback to the 70s singer-songwriter?
I was completely fine with it. You know, I mean, really, it's when growing up, that's what I listened to. That's what my parents listened to. So I had no choice. That's what I ended up hearing. And you know, at one point of my life when I was really young, I didn't really like it that much. But as I got older, I really came to like love it and appreciate it. And now, to me, it's just the best music that was ever made was the music of the 60s and 70s. So, you know, when we went into the studio, we really had a goal of trying to keep that very organic process of making music. And so when that was when I heard that review, I was like, that's totally good with me. Yeah.
Well, what was your main inspiration for your new album?
You know what? I think I started out with the title of the record. I knew that it was going to be High Hopes and Heartbreak, and it was a little sentence that came out of a blog that I'd written a couple years before I even was on Idol. And after I'd been eliminated, I went back and I read it, and it said there was like a little quote from it. It was about my experience of getting into music, and it said it was a bumpy beginning fraught with high hopes and heartbreak, experiences that I've turned into songs. And I realized that, you know, it's really all about the experience. It's about the ups, the downs that make it really real. And I wanted it to be a real representation of life.
What are the differences between your first album, Songs from the Attic, and your current album, High Hopes and Heartbreak?
Well, I definitely, you know, when I was working on Songs from the Attic, it was definitely kind of my beginnings and first attempts with songwriting and recording. And I definitely think, you know, it's where I was then. And now I've been through, you know, ever since then, going through many other experiences, Idol, touring and beyond. It's the progression and you know, just time. And I realized you know, getting into working on this record, really how to express myself even more and really express the way I wanted this album to be captured. And I really wanted to I knew for this particular album, I wanted to take it down to a very kind of stripped down human, raw, where we actually, for this album, what was different about it is that we all sat in a room together, me and the players, and we played together. You know, I would overdub like background vocals, but everything was happening in real time. You press record, and it was like a living, breathing thing. And I think you can hear that on this, and that's what I really love about it.
Now, you started your own label.
Yes.
June Baby Records.
Yes.
What made you do that?
You know, I think initially I would have never thought to start my own label. I as soon as I was off the show, I was very major label or traditional label minded, and I had anticipated going that direction and had several meetings and, you know, was heading in that direction. And then I realized as we were talking, it just felt like there was so many layers in between me and this record. It was just getting more and more complicated. And I thought, you know what, all I want to do is make music, and I want to do it now. And so I had found a producer. I had already written a great deal of songs, and I thought, I'm not going to wait anymore, and I'm going to go. And as I started making the record, my management team, we decided that, you know, in this day and age, in 2009, there's a lot of different ways that you can do this, you know, in this industry. Right. So they had brought up the idea of, you know, partnering with major distribution and starting my own label, and I thought, why not? Since I did Idol, it really gave me the platform, the opportunity to do that, and more artistic control.
Freedom.
yeah, it just worked out this way, you know?
Right. What was the experience like working with producer Dave Cobb, who's produced for Chris Cornell and Shooter Jennings,
Shooter,
among
yeah.
others?
Yes.
What was that like?
It was phenomenal. You know, it's funny because I went in just to have a writing session with him. I had no plans on him producing my record, and I went in to have a writing session with him, and we came up with Hold Up My Heart in like an hour. And as we were talking, we were just talking about our influences and the music that we loved, and his studio looked like it belonged in the 60s. He had it built to look like that. So I could tell he had this great appreciation for the classics.
Right.
And I knew right away, I was like, this is the place that I need to be making this record. Yeah, so we put together that song, and I remember recording it, and like the hairs standing up on my arm, just thinking, this is it for me. So the whole process was such a reward for me to actually get to make the record. And I absolutely loved every second of it. If I could, I would have just kept going and making one record after another.
It would have been in the studio for months.
I would have, but it was just so easy to make this record.
Yeah.
You know, kind of weird how easy.
I watched the video for your single Radio. And what I took away from it was a very joyous feeling from the video. Is that what you were trying to portray
Absolutely.
with the video?
Yes.
And it's been on iTunes. It's been downloaded on iTunes a gazillion times.
Yeah, I'm so glad. Well, you know, the song is it's one of the up moments on the record. And, you know, it's, as a kid, you know, I've told this story several times, but, you know, that was my life, was the radio. I walked around with my boombox with the cassette tape so I could like make mixtapes of my favorite songs. And, you know, my family, like that's how we bonded together, was we would go on drives and we would listen to the radio. And when I got my driver's license, I would try to find any excuse. I'd be like, Mom, I can go to the grocery store just so I could like listen to music.
What's next? What's next for Brooke White?
I mean, really, it's hard for me to think too far ahead of myself. I'm so, what's the word?
In the now.
In the now. There's so much happening right now. And I think sometimes it's so easy to, like, not be in the present. Because the present is what we've got. You know, it's what we have right now. And but, you know, the future, it's so unpredictable. Life is, someone just said to me today, you know, what do the next 10 years look like? And I'm like, when I look back at the last 10 years, everything has turned out completely different than I would have ever anticipated or imagined. So I'm not going to try to predict what the future looks like. I know it's going to include music, and I know it's going to include family.
Oh, right on.
Yeah.
Right. Well, thank you so much, Brooke, for joining us here
Thank
on
you.
The Music Scene. Brooke White's latest album, High Hopes and Heartbreak, is now available in stores everywhere. Go out and get a copy. You won't be disappointed. Also, check out everything Brooke White at www.realbrookewhite.com. I'm going with Brooke right now to get a copy of High Hopes and Heartbreak. So
And the elephant.
we'll see you later.
Thank you. Let's go.
Let's go.
I've been roaming around, always looking down on all I see. Painted faces fill the places I can't reach. I know that I could use somebody. I know that I could use somebody.